Hey there, everyone. Ryan here from the Stacks Foundation, and going to be running you through our grantees today. Really excited to have you here. And yeah, before we get started, I want to show off my Halloween costume, which is, of course, Satoshi Nakamoto. Hopefully you like that. But I also have Satoshi Nakamoto, so I'll leave this on for our presentation. And anybody else who's dressed up as Satoshi Nakamoto today, yep, pop a comment over here. I think hopefully that's cameras in the right way. All right, so we are going to get things started here with Steve, who is going to be presenting his program. So I will, the other way. Okay, sorry, that way. Comments over there. Okay, cool, thank you. I'll get Steve onto the screen here. And thank you for bearing with me here. This is my first time using Crowdcast Live like this, so thank you. I appreciate your understanding. Okay, Steve is coming on screen now.
Hey guys, this is Steve. I see how I feel so low compared to you, Ryan.
It's okay. Well, we can sort that out in a second, and then I'll go off screen so you don't have to feel.
My camera does not adjust. So.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay, cool. I'll move off the screen here, and if you get your screen share going, then I'll make sure I'm off and out of the way.
All right, sharing screen. And
okay, perfect.
Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's start from the beginning. Okay, hopefully everybody can see the screen.
I'm able to on my end, yep.
Hello, everyone. I am Steve Hardeman. Just going to show you a couple slides before I get into the actual demo, just to give you some info about who I am and what this Gaideo thing is. So I've been developing software since 1994. Not really an expert blockchainer, I would say, but I did early on purchase a Bitcoin ASIC miner back when Bitcoin was much smaller. It was, I think, worth about maybe $100 at that time. So I played around with that. I actually mined almost 2 coins, which I sold way too soon. But anyways, and 2020, year of COVID, I was browsing some news feeds or something. I came across Blockstack is what it was called at the time. I joined a town hall meeting that just happened to be that same day, and I was really intrigued by this whole decentralized platform and, you know, open to the community. So I joined the Discord channel and lurked for a while, and I think I had a meeting with Jenny a while back just to see how I could like jump in and help. And then the grants program came along, and I had talked to some people in the community like Friedger and Dan, Dant ID, or I'm not sure his actual name, but I talked to those guys a lot and brainstormed this whole like, well, what if you could encrypt video on Gaia storage? That would be the way to go, to have sort of encrypted at rest content. So that's kind of where Gaideo started. I filed a grant. I think I'm grant number 4. I created this website. I started building on it. Eventually, the grant got approved. But basically, what Gaideo is, it's a media sharing platform. It's built in React. One of the nice things about it is you can do the transcoding and encryption of the videos in the browser. So you never have to take your unencrypted video and send it somewhere, you know, unencrypted to maybe a server that you don't trust. So that's one of the nice things. In the process, I've had to figure out all the Blockstack API stuff and how to share data publicly and privately. So it's got some cool features where you can share your media, you can create playlists, you can search for things across your stuff and your friends' stuff, all of which I'll be demoing right now. So let's see if we can switch over to the website. So I'm going to show 2 different browsers with 2 different logged in Blockstack users, or Stacks users, I guess I should say. So here we've got shardeman.ide.blockstack. I don't have any videos at the moment, so I'm going to go upload a couple. I've got a couple of really poor quality quick videos I can upload just to kind of show you guys how that works. I'm going to make this one public, which basically means when it goes to Gaia storage, it won't be encrypted, but we'll still transcode it and upload it so it's streamable for you and others. So I'll go here. I'm going to drag, let's see, what do I want? I want this one. This one. So I'm going to click finish, and it'll start going through the process. And this is all happening in the browser, WebAssembly or JavaScript, depending upon what your compatibility is. And you can see it's transcoding the video, but it didn't actually encrypt it. And then it's going to upload it, and it's done. And I'll do another one. And I'm giving it these keywords so I can show you some searching stuff later. This one will be private, so I'm not going to mark it as public. And then I'm going to drag this over here. Same kind of deal. Now you can see it saying it's encrypting the video, so it's also transcoding it. And so now we should have 2 videos up here. And I'll click on over to the video section now. Now I've got 2 videos. Now at this point, the videos are just mine. They're encrypted, only I can view them. Oh, actually that's not true. This public one is viewable by anyone who adds me as a friend, which I'll demo that in a second. But just to kind of click on one of these guys, you can kind of see. We're transcoding these things into the HTTP live streaming format. So, you know, not a very interesting video, but just kind of demoing. Another thing that I can do is playlists. So if you go, I can go over here to playlists. I can make a new playlist. I'll call this demo videos. And then once I have that, I can go and add it to a playlist. So I've got 3 playlists here. I'm going to add it to demo. Add this one to demo. And now I can sort of organize things. And the playlists work across friends that that have shared things with you and public things as well. So you can organize things however you want. But just as an example, I can go to like my crabs videos. That'll show me a bunch of videos, actually from another user that I'll be showing in a second. Or, you know, I can go back to the demos. So that's one way to organize things. Another way would be searching. So if I clicked search, the search is pretty cool. It I haven't really talked too much about the architecture, but a lot of this stuff is being aggregated in the browser in IndexedDB. It's all kind of encrypted and hashed so that there's no sensitive data even in there. But the searching is using algorithms like Porter stemming and things like getting root words, and it's kind of more like a Google-based search. It's not an exact match kind of search, but I can do things like I can search on quick, which should, you know, just show me these same videos. I could search on crabs. That should show me my crabs. That kind of stuff. So you can search on things, you can make playlists, and that's how you can kind of get to the video you care about quickly. So I'm going to switch over to my other user. This user is called Gaideo Founder. And he's the one who actually has the crabs videos, and I've got this burp auto mapper video I uploaded. But one thing that you kind of have to do, so if you're a user and someone has shared something with you, It's not, we don't have anything in Gaideo that's like in the background trying to find that stuff, because I don't like that. But I could add that in if on popular demand. But I really don't like when internet bandwidth is being just consumed for sometimes no reason. So you have to refresh the browser for it to go out, look amongst all your friends list and see if there's anything new. And you can see there's one thing in here that just popped up because I made that public video. I can go here to friends, which currently I'm not following any friends, but I can say follow S. Hardeman. And now it's showing me the public video that I uploaded, but not the private one, because in order for me to see the private one, I have to explicitly share that. So let me go back over to, let's just cancel this search. And this one is private. So I'm going to go to share. It's going to show me my friends. I believe this is Friedger, Clofo. But I'm going to share this with Gaideo founder. And then I'll switch back over to this guy. And again, need to refresh the browser. Found my video, so I should be able to click on that. And it should show me now I can see both the private encrypted video, which is this guy. I'm streaming it, from another person's Gaia storage, and that is, I think, the gist of what I wanted to show in the demo. Yeah. So, just as a quick add, the site currently supports videos and photos. I didn't demo the photos because I think most of the interest for the grant was around videos and video streaming of encrypted content. So, but you can do pictures too. And as a quick note, you can do this on your phone. You can watch these videos on your phone. You can upload and encrypt videos on your phone if you have an Android. iPhone, there's more work that needs to be done around that. You can watch public videos that aren't encrypted on an iPhone, but you cannot upload. You cannot watch encrypted videos on an iPhone. It actually is going to require a app for that. But maybe an addition to this grant, we could work on stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. That's something that you could apply for another grant for, kind of thing.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So then feel free to unscreen share for you. And then next up is going to be Marvin. So Marvin, I will just get you back on the screen here. Okay, there we go. We have to wear a lot of hats at Stacks Foundation, so Jude and Brittany can attest to that. Oh,
Hello?
Steve, you're still on screen, so I'm going to remove yours.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. I can see you.
Awesome. Yeah, I was just posting a question for Steve, too. Maybe I can take a few seconds to ask. I love the work, Steve. It's so cool. I was just wondering if you will also make this, maybe I missed that, honestly, if you will also make this available as a library, something that could complement the existing Blockstack libraries. Because right now, like, dealing with videos is a pain, and I think this could also just help a lot of people who just want to do some video stuff with Blockstack. So that's the question I was posting right before I was pulled on screen.
Oh, you're writing it into. Oh, you did. I see it's right there. Okay, cool.
Yes, I did. I was just a little too late.
Okay, well, I can bring Steve. You can answer either in chat, or I could bring him on at the end to answer it. Let's do Q&A at the end. Yep, that sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Perfect. Okay, so then Marvin, if you want to give an update about Ryder and how things are going there.
So hi everyone. You might know me as the guy that's building the Ryder. I only have a short update, but we do have some exciting things. We were stuck for a little while, but now we're moving forward again. And I'm just going to try and share my screen here as well. Just let me know if that works.
Can you give an explanation what Ryder is for folks who are new?
Yep.
Yeah,
There
thanks.
you go. Does the screen work?
Yeah, it's showing up.
Awesome. Oh yeah, it's showing up for me as well. Fantastic. So for those of you, it's your first time in here or haven't heard yet, so the Ryder is what is going to be a hardware wallet for the Blockstack ecosystem. So I have a very early prototype right here that sadly the battery just died, but this is functional. If you're interested, I can send you some links to some videos, some materials later, how you can kind of see this in action. But basically, it's a hardware wallet in the sense of the first decentralized ID storage device. And the reason why we think this is important is because it's too fundamental to our personal identity to have something like this stolen. So you all know the stories about private keys getting stolen and whatnot, and perhaps even seeds. So it sucks to lose your money, your value, but it's even worse if you lose the master key that encodes your digital identities, your decentralized identities. So that's why we're building a hardware device that hopefully makes it very easy to securely sign into many different machines that you might not necessarily trust. So with a hardware device like this, and this already works, is I can take this with me and I can connect this. Right now it's wireless, but we're exploring all sorts of options. There's also a wired way to do this. You can connect to any device. You can securely sign in using your Blockstack ID. So we could sign into Gaideo on a public computer somewhere in the library that might have all sorts of weird stuff on it without them ever having the possibility of stealing any of those keys. Which might not necessarily be the case if you got to bring your Blockstack ID with you as the magic phrase that you got to decode in the browser and then set that up. That makes that very dangerous. Like, how do you properly store and bring that with you? So that's what we're hoping to solve. But again, like, I can send you some more information if you're interested. So I want to give you guys a quick update on what we've been doing. So for our milestones here, we've been looking at a rebranding, creating prototype units that we're going to be sending out to the community. So that's what I want to show today. So this is very early. Everyone's going to get a sneak peek at this. But we've contracted a design firm to kind of figure out what all of this is going to look like. So as you can see here, we've got some preliminary logo types, and I'll just give you an advance warning that my face is going to be in there. I was as surprised as you might be. But so without going through every single slide, you can see here that we have a bunch of different concepts of what all of this is going to look like. Style manuals. Like I said, here's my face. Going beyond that, so we're currently in the process of selecting some of these very early designs, and then once that is done, we want to send it out to the community at large so everyone can have a say in what this is going to look like. So just in time for the rebranding of Stacks, we're going to see how we can incorporate the new Stacks logo as well. So you can see there's some box design here, very, very early, but lots of fun. So that's that. I hope that the scrolling works. Could anyone confirm? Because it seems a little slow on my end here.
Seemed okay on my end here.
Seems okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what this looks like on the stream at the same time. It's like, oh, let's get my face out of the way. There you go. So yeah, this is some early branding. We did not share this yet because, like I said, this is very early, where they kind of show us some directions that the design firm is having, and then we'll make a sub-selection, and it will come to something that more resembles what we're looking for, and then we want to send this out. Yeah, so looks fun, right? Moving forward. I'll try to switch my screen over because I have one more thing, and then I'll be on my way. Let's see here. Looks like I can screen. There you go. All right, so this is just a photo. Yep, it's showing up.
Yes, it is there.
All right, so it looks very nondescript, but these are the first 10 prototypes that we have reserved. We are just waiting for that rebranding to be in some phase where we can do some of the box design. So we'll have some custom stickers on there to make it look a little more exciting. But here they are. And these will make their way to my location at some point, where I'm going to be uploading the prototype firmware. We still have some work to do on that, and then we want to start figuring out how we can send these first 10 ones out to everyone. Well, to 10 people, not everyone. That would be very interesting. But here they are. So I always get excited when I see pictures like this. Makes it seem more real. So I hope it's exciting for you guys as well. And yeah, we're trying to move as fast as possible. So like we're skipping some things that we think are unnecessary right now to get these in people's hands as fast as possible. And yeah, I think that's my update. Again, like I didn't want to do another sign-in demo because it takes a few minutes, and I have a video of that if people want to see how that works. So you notice that this is a wearable, so I kind of sign in like that. It doesn't have to be a wearable, so our idea, this is going to come off, and then you can turn it into a keychain or wearable. That's all up to you. Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, great. Thanks, Marvin, for that. And so then we're going to switch over to get Mike and Camiel up to talk about what they're working on. All right, so to turn your video off. Should do that. Okay. Yeah, definitely a lot of interest in Ryder. It's great to see. Okay, so now bring... Hey, Mike, you are invited on screen.
There I am.
Camiel as well. There we go. So I'll just
Great.
make sure I get out of the way. Oh, great. And yeah, Marvin, if you have the links to your video, feel free to put them in the Stacks Grant channel in Discord too. It's a great spot to put links because people don't always check this space here, right where the chat is. So, okay. So I'll just move myself out of the way. All right, so you should be good to go. Just give a screen share up, and yeah, I'll mute.
Great, thanks, Ryan. Hi, everybody. Really nice to be here, and just wanted to say thank you to the foundation and to everybody in the channels on Discord for all the technical support and help. It's really amazing in there. I'm Mike. I'm working with Risidio. It's a company we've been building in lockdown since March. We have grant application number 12 that's in with the foundation. I'm going to hand over to Camiel in a second, who's leading on the UX, and he's going to take you through basically our UX design for the auction platform that we're building. It's a space that I've been interested in for quite a while, having been building things like Radical Art and dbid on Blockstack, and I came from an auction background as well. So on that note, Camiel, I'll take it over to you.
Thank you, Mike. Hi, everyone. My name is Camiel. I'm a UX UI designer for Risidio, and I'm going to walk you through our Risidio collection page, as Mike just introduced. So this is what we have right now. It's a very big prototype right now, so I'm just going to walk you through the most interesting features. So on top here, we have an Explorer and a search feature where you can just search for any collectible in particular. Anything that's on auction or on sale, for example. If you scroll down a little, you can find some featured collectibles. We also have some featured applications. So any art applications, we want to involve them. So something like Loot Bomb, we want to display their art and be a platform that works for them. And how you can add your own application, I will come back to that in a bit. But so this is our basic functionality on the page itself. We also found through market research that would be good to separate the types of collectibles. So we made a distinction between digital art and digital properties and trading cards and these kind of things to increase the user experience. So if we go to Explorer Gallery, we can find all the results here on one page, and we can apply the same filters, and we can change our viewing and our sorting settings. So with that, back to Mike.
Yeah, so those of you who are familiar with the digital collectible space, this kind of is familiar, probably. You might have seen the OpenSea platform on Ethereum. We have an app called Loopbomb, which is a kind of hybrid application that's built on Blockstack, using Blockstack Connect and Gaia, but then uses the marketplace on Ethereum via OpenSea. So that was the motivation for building this project. We're obviously, so this is quite Loopbomb focused, but the plan is obviously to connect different applications to this platform. The back end of this, or the bit that's making the search possible, is a Lucene search index that's basically crawls Blockstack names from BNS. So that's the way we're connecting the metadata from different users together. Okay, back to you, Camiel.
Thanks. So to actually get involved in like buying or making offers on collectibles, you'd have to use Blockstack Connect, which will make this pop-up appear, and then we see right here we're logged in, and we can explore these collectibles and actually bid on them or buy them. So the way it works is that we can click on a collectible and we can just see all these details. So we show the price history, and we show the listing history that's similar to that, and we show the offer. So we can either buy it for the price it's currently listed for, or we can decide to make an offer based on what's already out there. So that will simply be like that. We see this pop up right here, and we can just submit an offer. If we scroll down a little bit, we see the trading history of this collectible. So we see who owned it previously and who bought it from who. And we also try to incorporate some other collectibles that are similar and relevant. So some from the same collection or the same category as in other digital properties, for example, and other collectibles from the same applications. So this is a collectible that you can buy or offer. You can also find collectibles that are in auction, which are slightly different. They show current bids, and you can just place a bid and have to hope your bid will stay until the time runs out. So yeah, the rest is all pretty straightforward and the same. So with that, back to you, Mike.
Yeah, just to point out the style of bidding here is we're kind of going with the familiar English auction style. So we've got an end time for the items, and then the bidding goes up to that, and then potentially we could do overtime bidding as well. So the bidding will actually work through signed transactions being collected somewhere, and then the winning bid being actually the one that's broadcast. Obviously, not more than one bid can be broadcast to win the item. This is still we've kind of started the implementation of this, so we're still kind of deciding these things. I think OpenSea use the Dutch auction, which is quite ironic. I'm English and Camiel's Dutch. Back to you, Camiel.
Thank you. So the final set of features that I'm going to show you right now is actually getting involved with selling collectibles, managing them, and adding your own applications. So if you go to your account, you can find all this basic information, which are wallet information. You can manage all your collectibles right here. You can see what you own. You can preview them, and you can decide to sell them after that. You can decide how you want to sell them. And the most interesting right here is the developers button, where you can add your own application. So we saw on some competitors' platforms that this might be tricky, so we try to make this as user-friendly as possible. So I would need a Clarity contract, and I would click here on I need a contract. I don't have one yet. So I will enter all my details, submit this, and then this contract will be created. I can download it for myself, after which I can deploy it. And then I just have to round it up with just uploading a logo, some description, name, all this information, save it. And then I can see all the applications that I am the owner of. So with that, back to you, Mike.
Thanks, Camiel. Yeah, so really kind of part of our experience of getting Loopbomb on OpenSea is just the UX and the user experience is, it's quite difficult. So one of the things we're looking at here is is for applications to onboard really smoothly. So we've got this kind of idea of providing a contract if you don't have one, and just parameterizing it so that the app developer can just come on, parameterize their contract for their specific needs, which is like their minting fee and the base token URL where we'll collect their digital collectible from ultimately. Parameterize that and then deploy it onto the network for them. So we're really kind of coming at this from a UX point of view and trying to think through what's the best kind of user journey, user experience of this kind of application. I think we're sort of finished there. But I'd love to take any questions and happy to talk through the project in more detail with anybody.
Perfect. Thank you, Mike and Camiel. And we'll do the questions at the end. So we're going to get Arto on next. And so I'm going to just switch back here, and then I'll invite him on screen. And just like Joe, I don't know. I know his kitty is often on the screen. This is Lloyd. He does the same thing. So anyway, oh gosh, he's the kind of kitty who, if you move him too much, then he'll bite you. So yeah, exactly. I was thinking the same thing, Joe. He does kind of look like that, so you got to be really careful inviting Arto here. Okay. Arto. This is working from home, right? Okay. Star of the show. He wishes he was. He really does. He's that kind of kitty.
That's a nice kitty.
Oh, yeah. Well, he looks nice.
Right. Let me put in a few links I'll be sharing so people can.
Great.
If they get bored, they can look at this. My talk will be a little bit, or my short presentation will be a little bit more technical than the rest. Sadly, since I'm working on a compiler, and maybe good to begin with explaining what is a compiler. So you all know the Clarity Smart contract language. I'm working on a compiler for turning that into Ethereum bytecode, so it can be used on the Ethereum blockchain as well. So let's go ahead here, and let's grab the screen. Where's my screen? Okay. I'll share the screen. So, hi, I'm Arto. You can find me at ar.to, my very memorable domain, which I got as a Christmas gift once upon a time. And my grant is number 16. So that's Clarc, the Clarity compiler for Ethereum. And maybe some are a little confused. Why are we talking about a grant for Ethereum? That's not much to do with stacks. And indeed, when I submitted this proposal, I wasn't sure that it would be that it would fly. I thought this was the main question. And there are some indirect effects for the stacks ecosystem in case we manage to spread the Clarity language a little further afield. And I tried to summarize those here, so you can read the grant proposal if interested. But in any case, it's all about network effects. If more of the world adopts Clarity, if more blockchains adopt Clarity, that'll greatly help stacks as well. And perhaps we could actually, in time, position Clarity as some kind of reasonable industry standard, something a little safer than the current approaches that indeed have resulted in millions and millions of dollars of mayhem. So that's the background for this project. And so far, I have delivered 2 milestones, the proof of concept and the prototype. I'll be showing today the counter Clarc contract from the proof of concept. And I just a few days ago delivered the prototype that's able to compile a few more contracts. We still have a long way to go to 1.0, but definitely the road is pretty clear at this point. Clarity, of course. I'm sure everybody knows that. So this is the contract we'll look at today. This is the minimal, I think the best hello world example for Clarity. It's it has a single persistent variable counter, originally set to 0. You can increment it, you can decrement it, and you can get the current value. It's super simple. And let's turn that into EVM bytecode. So the virtual machine in Ethereum has a pretty nice model. It's practically a general purpose computer with some restrictions, which means we can certainly compile Clarity to EVM. It's only a question about the finer details of mapping some of the constructs. And the project lives on GitHub. It's right here, Vivery/Clarc. Currently, the version is 0.5. You can download it. You can download the binaries right now for Linux and Mac. Windows is in the works. And the README is pretty comprehensive for how to install it and get started. It's just a single binary. You just need to download and put it somewhere and use it. And let me just show you here. There's a lot of stuff here to get started. All right, so with that, I'm going to switch to the more technical part. Here we have my directory of example contracts. These are the whole set of contracts that we currently compile 100% successfully. This is to be expanded. And let's look at this counter Clarc contract here. So it's the same as we saw, very simple contract. And let's compile that. So I have Clarc here. I can say --help to get the man page. It's got a built-in man page. And that has some documentation on the options and so on. And let me clear that a little bit like that. To compile the contracts, I just need to say like this, that we want to target, we want to get some human readable opcode first to look at how this bytecode is going to look. It's nicely word wrapped, as you can see. So for somebody who knows the EVM, that's quite possible to understand what's going on there. But for now, let's get the bytecode. The bytecode looks like this, and that's basically a copy-paste string. You just take this from here. I can actually copy it to my clipboard like that, and let's try to deploy this. The easiest way to deploy things is, I think, my Ether wallet. You can just paste in, you have to add the hex 0x in the beginning. You can paste in the contract here, the bytecode. You also need an ABI specification for it. That's an application binary interface. And I've written one here. Looks like this. But this isn't necessary to run the contract. This is just necessary to for the UI to know how to interact with it. It needs to know what methods are there and so what functions it can call. So let me copy that as well to the clipboard. And we're going to put it in here. And let's say here demo day, because I already did one of these yesterday. So now we're going to send the contract deploy transaction off to the Ethereum testnet. I'm using the Rinkeby testnet right now. And we're going to wait a little bit for it to get deployed. So I'm going to, I gave it more gas than usual, so hopefully it actually gets deployed faster. Yesterday's demo I was using a low gas amount. Yep, something happening here, contract creation. Yep, let's have a look here. So the contract has been created on the blockchain. And here we can get the contract ID. I'll just copy it from there. And now we can go back here and we can interact with this contract. I'll paste the contract in here. And oops, we'll take the demo day. And good, it remembered the ABI. So now we can call the functions in the contract here. So let's start with get counter. We see that the current counter is 0 here. But I can go ahead and increment it. I'm going to send off an increment transaction. This one is to be confirmed. And since those can take, 20 seconds, I'll send off a bunch of them here. So that should be now already 2. Let's make it 3. Oops, make it take lost my MetaMask. Hopefully it actually sent it or not. We'll see. Not actually went in here. Here we have some pending transactions, something already got confirmed. Now we can look at the current state. Oh, indeed, we have the number 2 there. Looks like I screwed up on the third one. I didn't send it off, so we just got the number 2 there. And similarly, you know, this is probably redundant decrement to make the counter back to 1. So that's a super simple demonstration of how to take a Clarity contract, compile it to EVM bytecode, and deploy it to one of the Ethereum testnets. So let me talk a little bit more about where we are with the project. So obviously, this is a fairly large project. I applied for the maximum amount, but it's actually opportunity cost is somewhat larger. We are getting pretty close to the baseline contract, simple contracts being compilable. For example, we have, let me see if I can find here. We have mapped, I have mapped the, I mapped the Clarity construct, persistent storage to Ethereum's account storage, so that when you want to do something like, let me see, I have one of the key value store here. The key value store contract has a persistent map where we store two integers indexed by a principal, and these are 128-bit integers on stacks, and in Ethereum we can pack 2 of those into 256 bits. So this is all well underway. We can utilize the storage primitives that Clarity gives us directly on the Ethereum chain, and this means that once we reach a 1.0, I expect that most contracts that have the potential to be cross-chain, so they don't use some stack-specific functions, they should indeed work on Ethereum as well. And I think that's probably more than 1 week away at this point still, but couple of weeks and we should reach a 1.0. So I think that's everything for my time slot. I have 10 minutes, and back to you, Ryan.
Perfect. Thank you for that. Okay, so now we're on to questions. So I do see there is a couple there actually for Radical.
Oh, yeah.
So Mike and Camiel, I'll invite you both back on the screen, and we'll just go through each.
Let me see if I can disconnect somehow here.
Okay, here I can do it.
Yeah, all right. Good.
There we go. Well, we might as well, if there's, let's see if there's any questions for Arto in there. Is there an overview of supported Clarity features somewhere?
Not as yet. I'm gonna put that in the README. So that's actually the next thing. I didn't have time to do it before this call. But right now, practically speaking, the feature set is so small that's supported that I wouldn't recommend that you price an arbitrary contract on it. There's still a lot more work to do for you to just take an arbitrary contract and it can run. Give it a couple of weeks.
Okay, well, that's pretty quick still, I think. But all right, so I will bring on Mike and Camiel again for the Risidio questions. So thanks, Arto, for coming.
Sure.
I'll catch you later.
Bye.
Okay, so now, and if you have any other questions, folks, just put them in the ask a question there as we go here. I think it's probably going to be the easiest way to make sure we can get everybody in. We've got about 13 minutes. And if there's questions for the Stacks Foundation too, and yeah, feel free to pop them in there too. Mike. And Camiel. Okay. There you go. So you're back on there, Mike. And
hello again.
Hello. Okay, so we got some questions for you in the ask questions. So I'm just going through the ones here that were not answered. So we've got here, could I bring my own auction contract or so for my NFT on sale? So that's from Freaker.
Yeah, thanks, Friga. Yeah, so the UI that we had there's a choice between using the templated one or using your own. But I think there's a piece of work that we need to figure out about how traits work. You know, I need to learn more about that myself, but I think ultimately it'd be good to have the base functionality kind of in some sort of inheritance or in interface like an ERC type contract. But yeah, you can drop your own in there, but obviously the interface needs to be defined so we can talk to it.
Okay, great, thanks. And then one from Alex, it says, would love to hear more about the application submission. Where can I read more about the concept? Okay, so that there we do have some within the GitHub issue itself, but if there's anything beyond GitHub, I'm not sure if you're thinking of more than that, Alex, but then Mike, I don't know if you have an answer for that.
Yes, I think there's a link within the number 12 submission to a kind of bigger document, which is a more ambitious roadmap that's on our website, risidio.com. But you can only get to it from the link in the grant submission, I think.
Okay, cool.
But of course, reach out to me on Discord. Really happy to chat to anybody.
Okay, cool. And what's your, do you remember what your username on it? It's MIJCOCO?
Yes, Mijoko. Yeah, that's right.
Right, okay. Okay, great. So that one. And then last one is from Brittany. What kind of uses would you love to see using your product?
What kind of applications? So it's an open platform, so we'd like as many applications as we can. And really, you know, I think there's a case for the kind of projects like Super Rare that are on OpenSea at the moment. Yeah, I'd love to be able to pull a project like that across to Bitcoin. I think there's probably scope to do that. Other than that, I think there's all sorts of interesting different ways we can go. From I was talking to somebody yesterday called Star. I'm not sure if you see it today, about physical assets and auctioning physical assets, which is somewhere where I've got a lot more experience. Yeah, so I think the roadmap for this application is really interesting. There's one other application, if I can just say, which I'd really like to do, which is in the payment splitting, which would be to split off, I don't know, 1% of the transaction fee, and send that to a quadratic voting contract, and then use that as the basis for a project like ETH Bounties, which is a really lovely project on Ethereum. But use sort of fund that contract, and then use quadratic voting to distribute that money out to different bounties. I think that will be an exciting way to go with this.
Awesome, thanks for that. Is there anything you wanted to add, Camiel?
No, I think you covered it pretty much.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. And yeah, so there's further discussion, like Brittany just said, we'd love to see the quadratic idea discussed. Feel free to use the Stacks Foundation Discord channel. It is there for that. So I'm just going to, I think that's all the questions for Radical there. So I'm going to take you both off screen here for a second. Thank you for coming, both of you. And I'm just going to share my screen the last thing. And here, give me a moment here. 1, 2. All right, so I'm going to share my screen because I wanted to share the share with you exactly what you're seeing here. So you should be able to see. So give you confirm in the chat. Well, if I go back to the chat, but this is the description of the grants program. So one of the things you might have noticed as we're going over all the different people presenting today, that they fall into a lot of different categories. And something that's really nice is, and I've heard from people, is that they don't realize how broad it can actually be. They thought, oh, grants have to be for an app specifically, but they don't. So there's even one that Figure did for research. So if you have ideas around education, evangelism, collaboration for like non-technical people, that's a great spot to think of some grant ideas. Same thing with Wishlist or Wildcard. It's super, oh, Lloyd's back. Yeah, so that's a great spot to take a look if you're a non-technical person who wants to get involved. As Brittany had said in a tweet that I saw, that the grants are the most accessible way into crypto. So let's get started doing that. So if you have any questions around that, or just have ideas, like feel free to ping me anytime on Discord or on Twitter or Telegram. I'm around. It'd be great to talk to people. I'm been talking to people one-on-one, so happy to do more of that. And let's see if that works. Hopefully my screen is not sharing anymore. And I think that is it for what I have on here, unless anyone has any other questions for the Stacks Foundation. I'm not seeing anything much on there. Well, I think that's about it then. A little bit early, so enjoy your extra bit of time. And oh, wait, of course, I've got to raffle off the candy. Yeah, so there's 29 people. There was 31, so 2 people just they missed out on that. And okay, so I'm going to look at all the people on here and close my eyes and scroll. Okay, and where are my most lands? Okay, so Jazbo Gross is one. So I should have your email, but if you don't get a message from me because I haven't found your email, then please email me at ryan@stacks.org, and we'll get you half of this. And then the other half will be going to, oh, there you go, perfect. The other half will be going to, I will do the same thing on the second group of people. Passion. Okay, so Passion, same thing. If the email doesn't come through, but it should, please email me at ryan@stacks.org, and we'll sort out getting half of this Canadian candy sent to you. There's some fun stuff in here, like Coffee Crisp, favorite of mine. I'm sure Marvin's had them too out there in Victoria. Oh, see, there you go. Coffee Crisp. And we'll share this video afterwards. And looking forward to seeing you at the next Grants Demo Day. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. And I promise I won't eat all this before I send it out. Catch you next time. And on the Stacks Ecosystem calls every 2 weeks. See you soon.